Hey guys, Doble here. Andres from Doble Sports. Just wanted to make a quick prediction video this morning, as there are two CONCACAF Nations League games today. One at 1 o'clock Pacific time, one at, I believe, 4 o'clock Pacific time. They're not part of the Final Four, the championship Final Four, Jamaica, Panama, Mexico, the US. But it's part of the play-in, the last chance qualifiers for the Copa America that determines the final two spots from CONCACAF teams. So the first game, so it's going to be 4 teams fighting for 2 spots. The first game is Canada versus Trinidad and Tobago, and it's very interesting. Trinidad was relatively competitive in their 2-leg quarterfinal aggregate versus the U.S., but at the same time, the U.S. was also very underperforming. Certified Greg Berhalter games. So, again, I don't know how competitive they are. Maybe Greg Berhalter kind of inflated Trinidad, but at the same time, Canada also got complacent in their 2-leg quarterfinal aggregate versus Jamaica. And it's very possible they do that again, just because of how they played against Jamaica. I still think Canada is the better team. I think they'll be relaxed, but I don't think they'll be incredibly complacent, just sleeping on the job like they did in the quarterfinals. I think Canada is the better team. I think their quarterfinal loss was a wake-up call, and that won't happen again. I'm gonna say 3-1 for Canada. I think they will win and qualify for the Copa America. As for the Honduras-Costa Rica playing match, so Costa Rica got absolutely thrashed in their quarterfinal matchup versus Panama. I think it was like a 5-1 aggregate or something like that. It was bad for Panama. Not Panama. It's great for Panama, but terrible for Costa Rica. And Honduras was relatively competitive against Mexico, but it's also worth noting that Mexico got complacent as well. And outside of that game, really, Honduras, their team right now, is one of the worst they've had in generations. I feel like this could go either way. I think because Costa Rica has been relatively underperforming, it'll be closer than expected. I still think Costa Rica is the better team. I'll say 2-1 in the favor of Costa Rica. I think Costa Rica will do it just enough to qualify into the Copa America. And then you got the big grand finale, the CONCACAF Nations League final. My pick is official. I am putting it on a video. It's going to be on record for you guys. So you can either comment and say I was right, or comment and roast me and say that I was completely wrong. So, as I cross the street here, I'm going to say 2-1 Mexico wins. I think the U.S. has more talent, but again, I think in terms of the coach, I think Jaime Lozano is actually a better coach than Greg Berhalter. I don't trust Greg Berhalter, especially not after that game against Jamaica. He should really, really be fired at this point. Greg Berhalter, his style of play, his strategy is very underwhelming, underperforming, and it's holding the team back. And you can tell that the players are starting to get frustrated with Greg Berhalter. So it'll be interesting to see what the players do. Maybe they ignore Greg Berhalter and just use their own talent and communication on the field to do something different and win on their own. But again, I don't trust Greg Berhalter in terms of making the correct decisions in terms of formation, style of play, strategy, putting the right players in. I mean, he put a MLS player, a mid-tier MLS player, as a starting center back over a guy who's been constantly getting minutes and playing great for Genk in Belgium. So because of that, I think Greg Berhalter is just going to find a way to throw this game and hand it to Mexico on a silver platter, and it's going to be abysmal. And so I think Mexico will win 2-1 because of Berhalter and his errors. And then USA fans will, and plus the US Soccer Federation, hopefully will finally say enough is enough and that it's time to move on from Greg Berhalter. So those are going to be my 3 predictions on record. So we'll see how they go. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the predictions. Do you agree with my predictions? Do you disagree? What are your score lines? Let me know. And we'll see.